Hey, this is RonnygoBOOM. Welcome to part 2 of my trap tutorial series. Last episode, we covered the basics of trap making. This time, I'll give you some intermediate tips on how to make your triggers and kill mechanisms more deadly and effective. And I'll show you how to collect loot without using so many hoppers. First, let's start out with some simple tips for making triggers. Triggers are most effective if they are well hidden and appropriate to the environment. If players can detect triggers before they get tripped, they'll most likely avoid them in the first place. The best triggers are so undetectable that the victim may not even know how they tripped it at all. Completely undetectable triggers will be covered in the next video with advanced trap mechanisms. In this video, I'll show you some ways to make ordinary triggers less conspicuous. The first types of triggers that I'm going to help you conceal today are pressure plates. Remember, the best triggers are undetectable, instant, and reset automatically. So we're going to incorporate all three of those things into our designs today. Pressure plates are pretty conspicuous if you place them on the wrong block type. Also keep in mind that there are 4 different kinds of pressure plates that we can use with different kinds of blocks. When viewed from the side, a person walking by will be able to detect this pressure plate, even from a distance. But the pressure plate disappears when looked upon from an angle. So for example, if we have this common staircase here going down to a mine, we can easily hide a pressure plate completely undetectable unless you're looking for it. Same goes when you're looking up. Another great trigger is the trap chest, but it's pretty conspicuous if it's just sitting here in the middle of a room. To hide it better, we can put it among other chests in what looks like a chest storage room. And which chest would you want to open first? Obviously, you're going to try and steal the diamonds. But as you notice, it triggers the redstone. Trap chests transmit a signal downward. So right here is the trap chest block, and when you click it, it affects this block right here, which affects the torch, and the torch affects all the redstone here. So we can turn off these lights or whatever kill mechanism you want to attach it to. Finally, we have our villager trigger. If a player decides to come in and grief your villagers, maybe kill a couple of the ones that have the best trades, it triggers the redstone. We can replace the villager and see that it happens no matter which one you kill. This is great because it's nearly undetectable and it triggers very quickly. Now we just have to attach these things to kill mechanisms. Let's take a look at how these work. Over here, we have villagers standing on pressure plates. There's a pressure plate here, here, and here. Each of the pressure plates is 1 block above this redstone, and on that same block we place redstone torches. While all the villagers are standing on the pressure plates, all the torches are off. But as soon as we release a pressure plate, the corresponding torch turns on, which enables this redstone, which turns off the light. We can use this to trigger any kill mechanism we want. So let's go over here to look at the kill mechanisms. Similar to the best triggers, the best kill mechanisms are fast, hidden, inescapable, and automatically reset. Let's add a kill mechanism to this pressure plate trap. One of the simplest ways to do it, one of the easiest ways to do it is to place a redstone torch here, a couple blocks off to the side for some scaffolding to place this piston, and then a redstone dust here. Now we can delete these extra blocks. Now anyone who steps on the pressure plate will turn off this torch, which will turn off this piston, which will pull the block out from under them. Let's try it. The problem is, this trap is not automatically resetting. It is fast, but it's definitely escapable. Let's try it ourselves. We're gonna act like we're doing this as a naive player. Heading straight down, and oh, it didn't kill me even though I triggered it and I triggered the kill mechanism. So this is not very effective and it's escapable. So this is not the best mechanism for a kill trap. It's also not automatically resettable, as we have to manually reset it each time. Let's look at a way to make this inescapable and automatically resetting. Wow. And it even works coming the other direction. It's a little bit more complicated, so let's take a look at the redstone. The pressure plate on this block is hooked up to two different sets of pistons. The pistons on the right retract the wall so that there's a space for you to fall, and the pistons on the left push you into that new hole. For example. And it happens nearly instantly. As soon as he hits that pressure plate, the right side is pulled back and the left side pushes you off. It also doesn't push this pressure plate out of the way, so it's automatically resetting. The pressure plate is on this block right here. Redstone underneath affects this torch. This torch affects all of these pistons, which are just hooked up so that when the pressure plate is triggered, it pulls those blocks back. The other side is hooked up so that whenever the pressure plate is triggered, it pushes these blocks forward, which pushes the player to the right. Next, let's look at the solution I created for the trap chest. We're going to come over here and click this chest. It triggers redstone and opens up the entire floor. This kill mechanism is inescapable because even if I stand up on these stairs, the blocks to the left will push me into the hole that's made. This floor is very similar to this design right here that we've seen in the last video. The trap chest triggers this redstone, which pulls all of the bottom blocks, the bottom floor back, leaving an empty space for you to fall through. And it also triggers these pistons on the side to push these blocks inward, so that if you're trying to hold on top of these blocks, it'll push you into the center anyway, and you have nowhere to hold on. Even when holding shift, you can't survive this trap. Finally, let's take a look at the kill mechanism for killing these villagers. We can't just pull these blocks right here out from under us because there are blocks on the side that prevent it. Let's kill this villager and see what happens. Ah! And we fall to our death. This one is a special system that opens up the floor and pushes you into the center. It pulls away blocks from a flush floor whenever you trigger that mechanism. Just like with the trigger, the pressure plate triggers this redstone torch when a villager is no longer on it, which triggers this redstone, which attaches to each side, as well as the top, which pushes it in. This one gets a little bit complicated with the redstone, so if you'd like a tutorial on how to build it, leave a comment below and let me know. Finally, let's take a look at some loot collection systems that require fewer hoppers than in my last design. With most kill mechanisms, we can simply place hoppers on the floor to collect all the loot. But sometimes we just don't have enough resources to make this many hoppers. Here's a way to use only one hopper for the same area. And this can be expanded to be as large as you'd like, still using one hopper by tiering the water. Let's take a look at how this one works. You put this little mechanism at the bottom of a fall trap, and it'll collect your items in the hoppers. Instead of lining the entire bottom with hoppers, we can line it with ice and this mechanism, and watch what happens. With a kill mechanism that drops to a fall trap above, the player will fall into this tripwire, and then after they die, after hitting the ice, the water stream will push their items into this hopper and we can collect it right here. Make sure when you actually build this that you have walls around it to keep any items from bouncing out, but for this tutorial we're going to show you without walls, just so you can see the redstone better. The first thing that happens once a player triggers the tripwire is this torch will turn off. Then, after a very short repeater delay, this dispenser will dispense its water. Then, after a short delay caused by these comparators, it'll release another pulse which retracts the water. By that time, all the items will have been all the way over to your hopper, and we can collect them from this chest. As always, we can expand this storage downward as much as you like with hoppers and chests. Let's take a look right here just so you can get a good view of the redstone. Take note that these 2 repeaters are on 4 ticks, and the other repeater is on just 1. Let's set up a fall trap so that it falls on this exact point. We fall down the chute and into the hole. If we're monitoring our trap closely, we can go collect the items just by walking into one of these corners, and it even works through obsidian. Thanks for watching! I have a world download in the description, and many videos to come. Please like the video and leave some comments. One random commenter will win a trap giveaway, in which I will make you your very own advanced trap. Also, leave some suggestions for the types of traps you'd like me to showcase in the future. Make sure you like and subscribe, because next time I'll show off some completely undetectable triggers and ways to integrate traps into base security.